This is a really important one. I've been watching Tai Lopez's 67-step program about how to live a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness, what he calls it. And if I were to change it up a little bit, I would say I would rather call it health, wealth, love, and fulfillment. Because I truly think happiness is just a temporary state. But if you're able to find fulfillment, I think that is the magic. But either way, this is number 12 of a 67 steps, and I thought this was really important. This one's really important because this here's how I'm prioritizing some of these steps I'm listening to. As a dad, I'm really hoping that my kids will understand these principles, these steps. And this one's called Never Leave a Good House Party for a Theoretically Better One. And this is going to be so important because this is going to change your relationships, your business, and hey, who knows? Maybe in how you buy your next house, right? But this one isn't really about house parties. It's about FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. We hear about it all the time. And this can really subconsciously sabotage your decisions in your work, your business, your love life. So let's break this down in a way that even a fifth grader can understand, because I think this is really important, right? I need to be relevant for my kids, because if I can't explain it in a way, then I will never be able to be the dad I want to be. And I want to be the best version of myself every day. I want to show up as the best version of myself. And this is a very, very important principle, not just for their lives as kids, but as adults, as they age. I think this is going to be very important because you see these happen in your life every single day, right? So let's stay at the easiest level, right? Like imagine you're at your birthday party or someone's birthday party, and there's like pizza, like your favorite food. There's games. There are best friends. Your best friends are there. But then someone tells you, hey, I know that there's another party and they have cake there, not just pizza. And they have a magician. So you have to do all this work now as a kid and say, Daddy, Mommy, you got to wrangle your parents and say, Hey, I got to go. I want to go here. Then you got to say goodbye to all your friends there. And before you try to and then once you get to that theoretically better party, right? Right? Your party might have been, let's call it an 8.5 out of 10. And someone tells you, oh, this party with cake pops, dessert, and a magician, that's like a 9.5 party. But by the time you get over there, you spent an hour saying goodbye to people, wrangling, getting yourself in there. Maybe your siblings there, so now you got to change your diaper, do your potty breaks, and now it took you over an hour and a half to get to the next party. And when you get there, there's no more games. You don't know anybody there. So now you just gave up a good time for maybe something better, and then you lost both because you left that party that you were having so much fun at, even though it's 8.5. And this is the lesson, right? There's a book called The Paradox of Choice. And if you have too many choices, that can make you actually unhappy, right? So there's this principle that Ty talks about, and it's called bounded rationality. It means that we make better decisions when we limit our choices and put some healthy boundaries around our thinking. Now, what does it mean, right? Think of it like in maybe an ice cream shop, right? If there are three flavors, you pick one and you kind of enjoy it. But what if there are 50, right? Then you might wonder, hey, even when you pick one, you're like, hey, what if the other one was better, right? Or because you can't try all 50, you end up unhappy because even if your scoop was pretty good, you might still be thinking, oh, what if the other thing? That's not healthy, right? And let's talk about the myth of the perfect 10. And in my opinion, and Ty is on the same page, here's the truth. I don't think anything in life is a perfect 10, because if you're a perfect 10, then there's no room for improvements, right? I don't want a business that's a 10 because then it will stop innovating. And then, I mean, think about the top business 30 years ago. You probably might not even remember it. Why? Because maybe they didn't innovate themselves, right? Maybe they thought they were on top of the food chain. They were number one on the fortune list. And now where are they? Go figure, right? I don't think there's a relationship that's a perfect 10. There's going to be some, I mean, a relationship is two different souls coming together, there's no way it could be a perfect 10, right? And I don't think there's ever a dream house that's a perfect 10, right? What if there's one little ant in there that kind of got in? Oh, now it's not perfect anymore. I mean, come on. It's a myth. So let's think about your boundary, the boundary principle, right? Boundary rationality. I might ask, hey, is this 8.5 out of 10? Just like that party that we're talking about, right? Hey, if you're at 8.5, finding a 9 out of 10 party or a 9.5 out of 10 party is really hard. And that's just a very small increase if you think about it, right? Now, if it was like a really crappy party, like it's not fun at all, terrible music, people are not nice, it's like a 2 out of 10 party, like the only thing they got going is maybe just chips and salsa, then yeah, you should leave. I'm not saying you should settle. I'm saying you have to ask yourself, hey, is this 8.5 out of 10? Because for you to go from 8.5 to a 9 or 9.5, there's all this extra cost of you to change or you to switch. In Ty's course, he talks a lot about, okay, well, he had a friend that had like $4 million of net profit a month. And he decided to shut it down and start another business. And he thought, I mean, two, 2 to 4 million net profit, that's like an 8.5, 9 out of 10 business easily, right? That's great. But sometimes the problem with entrepreneurs, sometimes we want to seek more. We're maximizers. I know I'm guilty of that. I'm a maximizer, right? I always am looking for the best, right? So you got to be aware of what's happening in your brain so you can put up those boundaries and have a different frame of looking at the problems, right? So your personal good enough, right? That's the point when you stop chasing more and just build on what you already have, right? Make it better, improve better, right? So let's talk about switching costs. We just talked about that. Every time you change directions, right? Whether switching careers, switching cities, or even switching a significant other romantic partner, right? There's a cost. Even though I don't see it in dollars, it costs you time, energy, stress, emotional stress. And it could even cost you your reputation sometimes if you're not careful about it, right? For a fifth grader, I mean, think about it. If you were to take them from their friends in the middle of the school year, that's hard. They have to figure out the new teachers, they have to figure out the new friends. I mean, just even learning where the bathrooms are again, right? Even if school is better, that switch can be really rough. And you have to ask yourself, like, hey, is this an 8.5 out of 10 school? Right? I mean, what are the chances of the school being 9.5? Because we all know that sometimes schools have teachers that are not that great, right? You can't have a 10 out of 10 teacher for every single teacher, for every single course, for every single subject. It's not realistic. Not realistic. So think about it. Before you switch schools thinking that that school is better, why are you doing that? Why are you doing it? Okay. So this is the problem with most entrepreneurs, right? Sometimes they call it shiny object syndrome, but the real danger of FOMO, right? When you start making money, when you start finding success, and this is really important for our kids, FOMO gets louder. It's gonna tell you you could be doing something cooler. You can be getting smarter. You can do better. You can get richer. But usually, when you jump ship too soon, that's how people sabotage the long term success, right? Sometimes also people will give up right before that hard thing that's stopping them that would take them next level, but they give up too soon, right? It's just be very mindful of what your boundaries are. Okay. Now, there are maximizers, sometimes people call it settlers or satisficers, where they can learn from each other, right? Maximizers always want the best, they chase after perfect. Satisficers are happy with good enough, right? So I like to think of it as, I mean, think about exercising, right? Like I work out every single day, but I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to be a 9.5, 10 out of 10 body. I mean, if I exercise every day, I feel good. I mean, I'm good with an 8. I'm not staying at like a 2 where I'm overweight and I don't feel good about myself. I don't have confidence in myself, right? It's different. I mean, you got to think about the right situations, right? So, sweet spot, I mean, it's probably somewhere in between. Okay. Let's think about it for a kid analogy. And I'm looking for better analogies, right? So think about it if you go into a room full of toys, just treasures and boxes all full of toys. And a kid, you're looking for the best toy. So you keep digging through all the toys. You're looking for the best toy and you keep finding more. And before you know it, you get 15 minutes to go get a toy before your time's up. And then you end up getting almost nothing because you kept looking for a better toy. Versus, I mean, on extreme end, a satisfizer, you might grab the first toy and just play with it, even if it's broken. So take the middle. And this is such a big principle to everything. Okay. You have to think about it. Hey, do I switch? If I can go from a 7 to a 9, I evaluate my switching cost. Then I have to look about, okay, what's the impact of it? What's my confidence of that happening? That I can go from a 7 to a 9. And what's it going to cost me? Time, resources, money, investments. What's it going to cost me to get there? And then decide. Just have a framework for how you decide. And that's why this is much more than just talking about house parties. When you grow up and you look at your life and you look at the person, and you say, hey, this is like an 8.5 out of 10 relationship. That might be really good. That might be really good. Just think about it. I'm not telling you to not strive. Just understand switching costs and understand why you're doing it, what the impact is, what's your confidence level, and what's the expense. I'm not saying settle. If someone's not treating you right, leave them. Okay. Say, how does this apply in real estate? Right? It doesn't matter if you're investing in your first home, investing in duplex, flipping houses. I mean, don't chase perfection. There's no such thing as the perfect deal. We all talk about problem solving all the time in development. Don't leave a really good, solid deal just because someone told you there's a hotter market over there, or that's a real market, or that's a city, right? Or there's a better flip somewhere else. Just take the time, evaluate your current deal, and think about it to yourself. Is this a 8.5 out of 10 type of deal? Right? Think about it. Right? You have limited resource, you have limited time, right? Think about it. So set your own threshold. You might say, hey, I'm good with things that are 7.5 out of 10. Great. Or maybe you think about, hey, if I have a business at 8.5 out of 10, I'm not gonna sell it. Maybe I'll try to replace myself. Maybe I'll hire someone. The relationship's 8.5 out of 10. I like that. I like those friends, right? You have an investment that's 8.5 out of 10. That might be pretty good. I'm not even sure what the perfect return is. So this allows you to not chase perfect. This way you can be happy and fulfilled with your life. So you're not always looking for more. You can stay present, right? Instead of buying a new house, maybe you'll be really happy, right? If it's 8.5 out of 10, maybe you just add a new kitchen instead of moving to a mystery house across the country that might have different problems. They might have plumbing problems, might have roof problem, might have HVAC problem. You don't know. You can get an inspection, but you really don't know until you start living there. So think about it. Please, please, please think about it. So hopefully it was helpful. I mean, I'm really doing some of the stuff for my kids, and I like the frameworks that I'm learning, and I want to make sure I'm passing on the lessons for my kids because one day, yeah, they might be at a house party, they might be at a club that's 8.5 out of 10, and when their friends tell them, "Hey, come to this 9.5 out of 10 party," I hope they watch this video and they reconsider, or do it once and then they can say, "Ah, my dad was right." And hopefully this is the same thing for you. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you have better analogies, leave a comment down below because I'm always looking to get better. Hey, I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for sticking through some of the content with me because I'm just trying to become a better dad. I think we all are trying to do good with our energy, our resources. And the reason I don't underwrite every single day now is because I want to make sure I'm leaving some other lessons for my kids, for all of our kids. And I could not think of a funnier one that I wanted to prioritize than this one. Don't leave a good party, an 8.5 out of 10 party, trying to chase a 9 out of 10 party. Know your switching costs, know why you're doing it, know what the impact might be, know what the confidence level might be, right? Going 9.5 out of 10 party, that's really hard to find. Don't believe in 10 out of 10s because then they have no rooms for improvement. I hope you find a lot of fulfillment. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all tomorrow for day 572. Have a good one, everybody.